Good morning. So I haven't made a video in a while. I've been a little checked out of everything having to do with all of this, which has been really nice, but it's coming to an end now. I think every now and then it's good to set all of this stuff down and just go do something else for a while. So that's what I've been doing. But I had a thought that I just wanted to express here on this channel where there are other people to hear it, appreciate it, and think about it. This is something that I've thought about a lot of times over the years. There have been moments where I've noticed what a farce, what an illusion civilization itself is, and how there's this illusion that human beings have evolved when they haven't. And there's all these ideas about what you should be and how things should be. And that, especially for me anyway, that comes down to constantly having a feeling like I should be doing more, or there's some ideal that I should be attaining, or that if I, for example, quickly, the most recent example that I can come up with was I had Invisalign in 2018, and I am so bad about wearing the retainers that keep your teeth in the right place. And so sometimes I won't wear them for like 3 months, and then, I'll be like, oh, I gotta wear them. My teeth are gonna move back. And then I'll put them in, which is just like excruciatingly painful for a day or two. And then I get to the point where it doesn't hurt anymore. And then something happens where I don't feel like going through the whole process that I have to do to put them in at night, because they have to be cleaned, your teeth have to be perfectly clean so you don't get cavities and all that. And sometimes I'll just be like, I'm not up for that whole thing tonight. I just want to like water pick my teeth and brush my teeth and go to bed, which isn't enough. And then that'll lead into another day and another day. And before I know it, another 3 months has gone by. And like this tooth is crooked again. This is the one I can tell when I've had them out too long. It like moves back a little bit. And then I'll just kind of, I don't want to say berate myself. I don't really do that anymore, but I'll just say, God, when am I going to get my shit together and just, stop with these 3-month lapses? And last night I had that thought because I just went through the thing where I straightened everything out again. Everything fits perfectly. And then now I haven't worn them again in 2 weeks. And, I just realized, who gives a fuck? Like, who cares about any of this stuff? Like, I'm not good enough as a human. Like, I'm not functioning sufficiently enough as a human being because I continuously go through this process. Who gives a shit? Like, who says? Who decided that? What ideal am I trying to attain here when basically I'm an animal here with a bunch of other animals of my species, and we've all made up all these fucking ideas about what that means. Literally everything, every idea I have in my head has come from the ideas created by generations of the same animal before me. All that really has to happen is that you have to try to stay alive, just like tigers and hippopotamuses and worms and every other thing that's here. That's all you have to do. That's really all you have to do is, try to stay alive. That was pretty much the goal for everybody since the dawn of time. And now there are all these pressures that you need to do these crazy other things, like wear your retainers consistently so that you're a person with discipline. And, of course, it's very difficult to stay in that frame of mind. But, when you step back and look at this whole situation here, this is absurd. This whole thing is absurd. Just nearly 100% of the ideas about the way things should be or what you have to do are just completely made up and absurd. None of it's real. None of it, think about it like, I don't know, not a blink of an eye ago on the scale of time since the dawn of man. The blink of an eye ago, we were still just like trying to stay alive. That was the main goal. Just stay alive, don't starve to death, don't get eaten by a wild animal, Don't get killed by inclement weather. Don't get killed by another person. And now things have evolved in such a short period of time to the state they're in now, where there is so much more put on people than that. When that is really all you ever have to do. That's all you have to, that's all your biological programming requires of you. Just feed yourself, clothe yourself, you know, don't freeze to death in a snowdrift somewhere. If you're on top of that, you're doing fine. And fuck what anyone else thinks, and fuck all these other goals, and fuck feeling like a failure if you don't wear your retainer consistently. Like, how dumb is that? When my ex and I started our business, about 10 years ago, let's just say, whatever, 12 years ago, we used to have to go and buy raw materials. We didn't have to, but before we figured everything out, before everything was worked out and I had all the connects to all the right stuff, we did things the hard way. And we would have to get things, some of the raw materials for our business, we would have to go and get from stores when there was like an opportunity to get it for a decent price. And I remember standing there. You know, we had like a shopping cart full of stuff. We got there early. We're like, you know, on top of it. Got there early on the first day of this sale. Had a shopping cart full of stuff. And I looked away for a second, and some old lady who was standing next to me was like covertly shopping my cart and tried to take something from it. And my ex saw it and like told her to fuck off. And I just thought, you know, nothing has really changed. Humans have not really changed. There's still this underlying thing where we feel this impulse to compete for resources. You know, this is no different than, like, we could be in line to get bread from a baker in the year 1750 right now. Like, nothing has changed. We have not evolved. The circumstances have just changed. The scenery looks different. The products are different. But human nature is the same. You know, I've said recently also, like, if there were still like hangings in the town square, those things would, you know, people used to go there and like picnic and party to watch somebody get hanged. If they still did that, people would still do that. If there were still public hangings, there would be crowds for days, maybe even more so than there used to be. I'm not gonna try to explain what my point is with this. I think you can probably catch the drift, catch what I'm trying to lay down here. This is all a bullshit illusion created by ideas that you don't have to buy into, that probably aren't serving you. Who knows where half of this shit even came from? Who knows if a fork in the road couldn't have led to an entirely different life experience, concept of yourself, naturally, if it had happened 300 years ago or 3,000 years ago. You should choose what you want to do and not allow your experience to be dictated by others and by culture, society, or the current state of things, or your family. That's all I really wanted to say today. Have a great day.